Hello there, and welcome to the Sage Dialogue Series, second edition. Today is Monday. Today is not Monday. I'm so sorry for that. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of June 2021, and we are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, on the account Sage Nigeria and Digital Times Africa. My name is Richard Joseph, and I'm your moderator for this session. Yesterday, we had quite an electrifying conversation where we delved into entrepreneurship and innovation, Africa's new crude. And a lot of the comment or talk centered a lot around education, awareness, and building that sort of information gap, right? Bridging that gap. So today we will be looking into education, right? We've themed this session of the conversation, Revamping Education, right? And we're going to delve into how we can reposition the education systems in Africa to better forge or build the next level of entrepreneurs or leaders built through entrepreneurship. Joining me on the call is Gift Njoku and Ayodeji Ogundari, if I get the name correctly. Please forgive me if I massacre your name. I'm so sorry. I'll try as much as possible to make sure that I pronounce the names rightly. Just a brief introduction for Gift. Gift, good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm very good. Thank you.
Awesome. So let me share a brief about Gift. So Gift Njoku, also known as a public speaking guru, is a graduate of economics from the Michael Opara University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State. Right? She's a young Nigerian public speaker and a master of compare with over 13 years speaking experience. Gift today will be talking to us around the education, and I think, to the best of my knowledge, Gift, you also sometimes assist the Sage team in building the next level of, or the next cohort of leaders for true entrepreneurship. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. My other guest on the show is Mr. Ayodeji Ogunlari, who is the programs manager at Smart Kids Zone. Yeah, that's Abuja, Nigeria. Ayodeji has quite a lot of experience because he does a couple of stuff with tech education. So we would be looking into how maybe digital tools and services can actually cushion the education industry or the education ecosystem in Africa. Ayo, welcome. Good to have you on the call. How are you?
Thank you very much for having me.
Great. And lastly, I have the national coordinator for Sage Nigeria in the person of Chinenye Ude, who is joining us all the way from the former president's library at Abeokuta, Mr. Olusegun Obasanjo. Hi, Chinenye. Welcome. Good to have you on the call.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody watching. Good morning.
Amazing. Good to see your beautiful faces. All right, let's set the ball rolling. Let me just give a brief premise about this entire conversation. Sage is organizing the National Awards and Exhibition competition in Nigeria, which is happening starting from tomorrow through to the 26th in Abeokuta, the former president, His Excellency, Mr. Olusegun Obasanjo's library in Abeokuta. I'm correct. Chinenye would tell us a little bit more about the exhibition and awards. Let us know what Sage is doing in Nigeria to help pave the way for the next cohort of leaders forged through entrepreneurship. Chinenye, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everybody. And you're watching live from the OOPL, Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. We are here trying to set up for tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to host the 2021 Sage National School Entrepreneurship Exhibition and Awards. We've been working hard throughout the year to make sure all the schools are ready. We've been able to train close to 10,000 students across Nigeria on hands-on entrepreneurship education and community service. and we had called for entry, and we had close to 1,500 entries so far. So, hello, I don't know.
We can hear you loud and clear. Keep on going.
Yes. So we had close to 1,500 entries of their businesses and community service projects, but we had to streamline to 20 teams to participate at the national. And we are going to have teams across the 6 geopolitical zones to participate and present their business projects. So the Entrepreneurship Exhibition Awards, what we do is that we showcase businesses in front of business and civic leaders who grade them on their projects they've done on their businesses they've done across the year. And we are going to celebrate the winners, and the winners of the awards are going to represent Nigeria at the 2021 Sage National World Cup, which is going to come up in August. The most important events here, one is the competition, and secondly, the fireside chat, which we hold on the 26th, where the Baba of Africa, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, will be seated and will talk to the students coming from across Nigeria about leadership and also his experience in leadership. So I think that is going to be one of our biggest moments, to be with an icon and face to face, and to talk to the young ones on his experience, and also, give them credits and maybe mentor them as well on this program. So I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody, thank all the students and everybody who are going to participate at this program as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Naya, for sharing so much brief around what you're doing with Sage Nigeria's national coordinator. That's good. We want to see more of this initiative rise up across Africa and impact the world in general. I know you work as the CEO at Smart Kick Zone, apart from just coordinating National Sage Entrepreneurship Awards. Let's delve a little bit into education, right? There's so much controversy surrounding the educational ecosystem in Africa. Look into it a little bit, and for the context of this conversation, we're going to talk about Nigeria a lot, and then we're going to look at how it affects the entire African population, right? In your view, what would you describe as the current educational system, or what does it currently look like? So Nigeria and Africa in broad.
I think the system is a bit outdated, especially when it comes to the curriculum. What is happening around the world, you see that the Nigerian curriculum or the curriculum in Africa is really outdated and outdated. So we are talking about entrepreneurship education not being in the, we are talking about entrepreneurship education not being in the curriculum. You are talking about digital literacy not being in the curriculum. But as you can see now, especially now, those even history, as funny as it sounds, looking at the Olusegun Obasanjo Museum, it occurred to me that history is really, really very important. So those three key aspects are not really emphasized in the Nigerian curriculum. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a digital economy. We're talking about businesses, training students, training people to go into entrepreneurship education. But those key courses are not in the curriculum. So we need to revive and retrieve and also update our curriculum to these necessary, to these necessary programs, because this is the digital economy. This is the currency. Entrepreneurship is the new currency. Tech is the new currency. And also people need to know their history. So these events that we are going to hold, the students are going to go around to the Obasanjo Museum. They are going to understand the history, a bit about the history of Nigeria. So I will say that Africa needs to focus on entrepreneurship education in the curriculum, digital literacy in the curriculum, and also history.
Okay, that's great. Fortunately, we have Ayo joining us back. Good to have you, Ayo. How are you?
It's not free.
Yeah, I'm good.
Hello, Ayo.
Just connect. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I had to change my location because the internet went off and was pretty bad.
Quite interesting. The issues with connecting Africa we need to solve. So China here
Yeah.
made a really, important point around digital literacy and getting entrepreneurship education into the curriculum, and it's enhances the voice of McAnn, where she talked a lot about yesterday regarding the awareness, education, informal and non-formal, right? Um, Away from the curriculum, away from, I mean, you are a tech educator, so away from the curriculum, let's look at the non-formal or informal educational systems, right? Uh, are they currently positioned to build the next cohort of leaders forged through entrepreneurship? If not, what should we see changing?
Okay, so currently our schools are built around the old ways of education, and which is quite a problem. Nigeria is of course, as a point of as a form of example, is way back when in terms of curriculum, when in terms of breeding curriculum that actually captures those areas of informal education. And I, as a tech educator, in my experience, I have seen parents coming to that coming to the awakening, and coming to that reality that their kids no longer need to start probably aspiring to be doctors, aspiring to be engineers. The norm before was that if you send your kids to school, there are three careers, possible careers they can go into, and which the society would accept them. You see, engineering, doctors, we have lawyers and all that. So if your kids don't probably are not doing any of those three courses, they would not be respected. Your dad will be like, okay, you need to do this course so that you be respected. So, but as a tech educator, as a tech evangelist, I advocate for tech education. I, as a person, when I got admission into the university to read mathematics, and that's not what I actually wanted to study. I applied for computer science, but I was given given mathematics, so I was not happy. So what I did was I was able to do the curriculum didn't help much because there's no informal curriculum attached to the normal curriculum, and I had to just learn on my own. I had to focus, probably divide my attention, learning tech, and also focusing on my education, which was quite hard. But the education system outside Nigeria it's quite different because they give room for vocation, they give room for informal education, whereby somebody can be an athlete, a student can be an athlete, and also study. And even at a point, if you fail in your in the athlete part of what you're doing, it's going to affect your GP. So it's quite important. So in Nigeria, in Africa, I believe you have a long way to go in terms of that, incorporating informal education into our normal education system. And this is a problem and which we need to address.
Fortunately, we have Njoku Gift joining us back. Hi, Gift. I understand
Hello.
that a couple of internet challenges made it
Yeah.
impossible for you to fully be with us. How are you? Are you able
Yeah.
to solve that now?
Yes, I've been able to. Thank you.
Okay, great. Good to have you on board. So we're discussing about integrating entrepreneurship or digital literacy or form of education into the educational curriculum in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Ayodeji made some interesting points around how international organizations or international schools are better positioned to help you build skills and not just focus on theoretical learning. What are your take, right, to this? Where do you see the current education system in Nigeria? How does it look like so far, in your opinion?
So I would say Nigeria is trying as much as they can to go forward when it comes to entrepreneurship, education, and innovation. However, I must say the system has not done enough. It's more theoretical, like Ayodeji said. I was going to say that too. It's too much of theory and less practical. So it's even not enough to have entrepreneurship curriculums in school when you do not give students the platform to practicalize what they are supposed to be learning. So it's really something that we need to look at. The Nigerian education system needs to look at, because they've done really little as regards this. We are not raising entrepreneurial giants that are practically equipped.
Wow, interesting. We are not raising entrepreneur giants that are practically equipped. That's a punchline. I think you're the version of Mark Ann from yesterday's conversation. Okay, this is the Sage Dialogue series brought to you by Sage Nigeria in partnership with Digital Times Africa and Afro Seed. We are streaming live on Facebook, and YouTube, via Sage Nigeria's platform and by Digital Times platform. Do feel free to comment, share your thoughts, let us know what you're thinking, and at the tail end of the conversation, when we open up for dialogues and discussions with regards to social media engagement, we'll share with the world what you guys are saying, and we'll take in your opinions and also deliberate on that. Right. Let's move on. Chineye, Ayodeji,
Yes, please.
and Gift. You've spoken so much about
Yeah.
education, talking about informal, talking about the plugging of um, entrepreneurship or digital literacy kind of education into when do you think that we can get there? Looking at the current reforms happening around education in Africa, right? I mean, we take a cursory view into Nigeria, but if we are to give a timeline, if we are to like talk about everything happening currently, do you think we can ever get there?
Can I say something?
Feel free.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
At, at the rates we are going, I don't know.
Sure.
I don't have a timeline right now. I can't tell,
Hmm.
because the only way entrepreneurship education can go wild and fast is when it's put into the curriculum, not just when an organization like say just on their own trying to, do it on their own. We need support. We need support from the government partners that can help to make sure that entrepreneurship education hands-on are embedded in the curriculum. The education secretariats should make sure that they review the curriculum, because if we, as an organization, we're just trying to do it on our own without the support of the government, it's going to still take time. We in SAGE, we've been doing this for the past 15 years, and yes, we've made so much impact, but we need to make more impact. And how can this be possible? We need funding. We need trainings, teachers training, mentors training. We need this to go far. If you want this to go far and go well, it needs one, curriculum, it needs funding, it needs intervention. That's the only way it can go far. But without that, this, what I'm saying now, is going to be a bit difficult for it to grow faster than what we have now. So like I said, it needs to be in the curriculum, and it needs to be, will I say, sponsored heavily by the government and other organizations.
Great. It sounds like we have versions of yesterday's panelists. So you're sounding so much like Valoco, who hit the target or hit the nail on funding. It talked about people have ideas, but the lack of funding. People have like a wall equipped with skills, but the lack of funding, right? And yes, I understand the point where funding plays a key role in aggregating some of these initiatives, and as much as the government have to like put themselves in that box to make sure that all of things happen in terms of curriculum. Now, I like to present some form of every time we have such conversation, right? And I'm going to look at it from the angle like edtech, right? I mean, you run Smart Kids Zone, so obviously you're in the edtech industry, right? 46% of work activities in Nigeria are susceptible to automation. 46%, right? Uh,
Yes.
with the onslaught of edtech, are we preparing these new leaders or people forged through entrepreneurship for the job market, the digital job market? Right. You spoke about digital literacy and talking about curriculum. I mean, yesterday, some people in the comment section said that they go to school, go to computer labs, and they don't even get to do computer practicals because they wait until they are graduates before they even get access to computers or know how to use Microsoft Word. Right. So, talking about automation and the next phase of digitalization in Africa, right? If you're putting entrepreneurship into curriculums and there is no space for digital inclusivity, right? Where are we going to be heading to? Are we going to be heading for the positive strides or we are going to be going backwards?
I don't understand what you mean by there's no space for digital literacy. There's space for everything that is important. I think we should collapse because if you look
Say
at a
again?
primary school curriculum, I said you said there's no space for digital. Where is the space? There's always space for what is important. We have to make space for what
Mm-hmm.
is important now, right now, and what is important for the market, for employment, for youth empowerment, and the next phase of leadership is tech and entrepreneurship. So we need to make space. So if it takes for us to collapse the current curriculum or merge the correct curriculum to accommodate this curriculum, it's really, really very, very important to do that. So, like I said, the curriculum needs to be adjusted because if we don't have those skills, you said people go to the lab, they don't have computers, they have to wait for. We are not equipped. Africa is not serious. I must confess, we need to be serious about it because
That's a big word to use.
digitalization is going global. You know, we have to be frank. We are not serious. You go to a school, they don't have
Wow.
a tech lab, they don't have a computer room. When you come to the computer room, they are properly dressed. The computers are dressed like they are going for a wedding. They cover the computers and nobody's because they don't have the curriculum. Government put money in setting up hubs, labs, computer labs. Private school put money in setting, but they don't have the teachers. We don't have entrepreneurship teachers. We don't have digital literacy teachers to teach those curriculum because they are not trained. They are not anywhere. So the government needs to put money in training of teachers. In the university, I went to University of Benin. I did entrepreneurship course in my final year. We didn't have a lecturer because there was no lecturer to teach it. Till now, there are no entrepreneurship teachers till now. So does it sound like we are serious? We are not serious. So if we want to act like people that are serious, we need to start training teachers, mentors, and university students on how to deliver those skills. While they are doing that, they learn. So aside this, I don't know where we are headed to. It's just so impossible.
I hear you loud and clear, and we know there is that gap in with skilled trainers or skilled tutors to teach some of these courses, right? I'm so sorry. It's rather unfortunate, rather, that Ayodeji just drop off because of internet challenges, but we are likely to have Gift back. Gift, I was talking about
Yeah.
the job market being automated. And a report shows that 46% of the job market or the job currently available in the country, Nigeria, in this context, are automated, right? And we currently do not have the space for digital literacy, or we
Okay.
don't really train people around digital tools or services to deliver business solutions, right? And if we don't get those in, we might not have a future because we might be thinking backwards. What are your opinions? What are your take? Did you hear me? I think I'm losing
Those are
Gift.
part
Gift,
of the,
can
yeah,
you?
those are the part of the challenges.
Part of the
Infrastructure.
challenges, right? Ayo is back. Hi, infrastructure is part of the challenges. Good for you to have mentioned
Yeah.
that. Okay. Gift, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just nod. Oh, so sad. Okay. Chineye, you
Yes.
mentioned some key points. Africa is not serious. uh,
Well,
I don't want to I don't want to be on your case, but Africa is not serious. What can we do to make Africans serious? How can we influence relevant stakeholders to forge ahead with initiatives or put together work that makes Africa become a serious continent and looks into education like the likes of Singapore, where we crave or we want to, adopt some of their standards?
I don't think is a time to start begging or eh, it's clear. Everything is clear that this is a time for us to invest in technology, invest in education.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the time to okay, for example, banks, the tech industries, they need those skills. So where do they get them from? So if you don't train the younger ones, you have to go to Singapore to get them to do the job. So we don't have to start asking the organizations to come and sponsor, come and partner, come and do this. They're already seeing that the gap is there. So they just need to voluntarily sponsor programs, create fellowships, create things that can help the community, the Africa to work. So we all know what to do, but we just don't want to do it. I don't know why. Maybe someone should tell me why. We know the problems of Africa. You and I know the problems of Africa. We know we need infrastructure. We know we need good education. We know we need skills, but we are not doing it. So why? I'm throwing back the question.
It's quite a sad one. Yeah, I know. For me to be the moderator, you're throwing back a question at me. Then you just took up my position. That's quite funny.
Yes,
why? Why?
Yeah. It's a conversation.
It's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good one. And why? Yes, it has to be. And why? Let me be really opinionated here, right? Why? I think we need to begin to live for others. Currently, in my opinion, I don't think a whole lot of African leaders or the people who are in the policy making, the people who have access to some of these things are living for others. Like, I'm not so sure that they are thinking about the next cohort of generations that would inherit whatever is left over. In so many cases, you can see that there is some form of I don't want to use the word stinginess, but people just think about themselves so much that they don't think about other people, right? And maybe the strive for public what word should I use to describe that? Where people want certain leverage when it comes to public, opinions of others about them. Oh yeah, you're good, you're doing that. People just want to be known, and right, but people are less willing to sacrifice for others to get the opportunity to be also known. I think that for me, that's the major challenge. And if you ask me why, maybe that would be my why. But I think we know the challenges. We are striving to make sure that these improvements are done, like Sage Nigeria is doing, right? Digital Times is doing through this, dialogue, so we can all co-create solutions to problems like this. But then again, talk about funding. The people who have the deep pocket are sitting on the money. You get the point?
Funding.
So it's all part of the challenge. Hi, Ayodeji, you back?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Ayo. Probably Ayo is under a mango tree. Hi, trying to get
Yeah, infrastructure there.
That's the infrastructure there.
Infrastructure. Right. So we have infrastructure
climbing on top of the tree. Infrastructure. Please don't climb the tree, Ayo. Spells.
At least if you're going to climb the tree, use a ladder. I remember there was this advert sometime I thought here in Ghana where you had to climb a tree to find network. So it was a telcos organization trying to advertise that if you join other networks, you get these issues. But if you join their network, you don't have access to like
Have to
all
climb
these
the tree.
challenges. I mean, you know, right? So these are all challenges. I mean, infrastructural challenges, and the people sitting on infrastructure, they want to make positive differences, right? But then at the cost of what the citizens. I'm going to even go into the digital inclusion with regards to rural and underserved areas, right? We're talking about infrastructures here. How do we get rural underserved areas to also jump on the digital bandwagon, especially when it comes to digital inclusivity with education?
Is that for Ayo? Ayo, I think you
Ayo,
should
Deji, let
take
me hear
that.
from you. You're a tech, yeah, Ayo is a tech educator, so you probably can share more insight on that. I hope he doesn't get to climb the mango tree before he can talk.
I think he's trying to get a ladder as
Okay.
well.
Okay, so I
Oh,
didn't quite get the question
so
well, but if you just give a summary.
let me re-emphasize the question, right? I mean, we are talking about infrastructure here, and I'm talking about how we can get people in the rural underserved areas or communities to also jump on the bandwagon of digitalization, like getting them access to I mean, edtech resources, Gator, but the people who really get to benefit from some of your skills, some of the privileges of people who really know and can teach about the industry are the people in the cities or the urban areas, right? So there is a gap between the rural areas and the urban areas. So how do we get the rural areas to also come on board the digitalization bandwagon? Because yeah, they have skills there, but if they are negated, then we can't tap into the potential that exists in there.
Okay, so we're going to use the same technology because uh, the technology has made it possible for you to reach places with the with a little effort. We have social media, we have the internet. So highest the highest means of penetration of any sort of information, of any sort of skill, is still technology. So if we have, okay, for example, we have this, program there was a software we do through sensitization, through digital literacy, as you mentioned. So if we're able
Ayo,
to,
looks like we lost you for a bit. Okay, you're back.
hello, can you see?
Yes, yes, Ayo.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me
you.
now?
That's good. Let's continue. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Sorry about that. This network is really something else. Okay. For example, when I was mentioning like a program developed for farmers, how they can monitor the growth of their produce, how they can track their produce. So, but these farmers are villagers. How do they use those technology? So we organize this sensitization. Some where we also devise means that are we also give them access to the information through means they know best. For example, some of them are not used to smartphone, so we like kind of get a way to disseminate those information through SMS, and also so that to get to them. We have some of our old parents that are probably have not used any smartphone before. Just they are just used to the highest form of technology they've used is the touchlight phone, and which the Nokia phone, as we say, the small touchlight phone, and that's the only that's the only means of the communication they know how to use. So how do we get to this? How do we get to this rural areas? How do we get digital education there? As I mentioned before, it's through technology. If we can find a way to sensitize those areas, find a way to use the technology, use the technology they know how to use to use best, use it to if we try to like take but we're talking about digital literacy. If you're trying to take, let's say, digital marketing, you want to train them on digital marketing, you use a scenario that is very close to them. You use an example of what they can flow with. If you want to teach them probably web design, or you want to teach them other kind of literacy, digital literacy skill, you use something that they would understand. You come from their own perspective, and that way they'll be able to jump in and be able to okay, grab, this is what you're trying to do, this is what you're trying to teach us. So what am I trying to say in essence? Tech is still the way we can get them to digitalize. Tech is still a way we can get those information to that place. Tech is still a way we can get rural areas to jump into this digital literacy. So first of all, train their facilitators. I think Smart Kids Zone, where I work, we're trying to also set up a program like that, whereby we can train facilitators, train schools, and more like teach the trainer, teach them, equip them with the necessary skills they need, and also they in turn would go impact those skills using tech. Then the second thing, sensitization, picking up and training facilitators, picking them up, training them, and sending them back to the rural areas to help the other their family members or their community members.
That quite an interesting one for you. And the question would then be, how many of them want to go back? I mean, if you come out from a rural underserved area to see difficult for well-meaning to your society and your community, probably. I mean, throw this in since we're having the conversation. Get this right. See how get rural underserved areas to be financially yes, that's the word, right? So you rise of fintech, rise of how about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So so it means all those while I was talking and you were oh my god.
Infrastructure.
I'm so sorry for that. So I was talking about how fintech organizations are able to get into rural areas or underserved areas and get people in those areas banked, right? You get it. What can we do around education to also get that kind of leapfrog in the rural underserved areas?
Since we already have a channel, the fintech, the telcodes, for example, using the telcodes.
So again?
I said, since we already have a channel, a working channel, for example, when it comes to technology, you're talking about the telcodes. If you're talking about education, you have the schools. Why don't we drive on their backs to move forward. That's a huge spread. So the fastest way to move into the grassroots in all the communities is using the telcos and also the schools. So if we can engage in organizations like Sage, Smart Kids, and other organizations that are doing similar things on entrepreneurship and digital literacy, if we can get the support of telcos who are spread around the country already and across Africa, if we can get the education sector to accept this curriculum, it will be easier and faster for us. Hello, Richard? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. So I don't know if you heard me. I don't know if you heard me earlier.
Say that again.
I don't know if you heard what I said.
Yeah, I heard you. I mean, you were speaking about the telcos, and they
Yes.
basically are the ones to help aggregate this stuff.
Yes, they are the banks, because banks are everywhere. I think those organizations that have wider spread can come up with products, can come up with services that can help embed education, entrepreneurship education, and digital literacy in schools. I think those are the fastest way to get into the grassroots and in any community.
Okay, thank you so much for that knowledgeable contribution. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, I can.
All right, perfect. Unfortunately, it looks like it's left to just me and you. Ayodeji and Njoku Gift are still trying to maybe find a palm kernel tree this time to make sure that they can join the conversation. But I'll just head over and continue to ask, right? Basically, we know that, or it's been proven so far so good by, I mean, the indexes that talk about what the poverty, I don't know, those stuff that use to measure poor nations or not. Nigeria currently ranks second. Is that correct? And how is education contributing to it, and how can education help us get out of this?
You know, with education can help elevate people from poverty. At least it gives you a head start. So when we have, going back to the curriculum, when we have a curriculum and a system that is not providing that education we need at this time, I don't know how we can get out of poverty. Because if people are educated, hands-on, and those skills, like not necessarily going to the four walls of the school, if they have skills like entrepreneurship, how to start and run their businesses, if they understand how, go for trainings and have soft skills, digital skills, they can pull through on their own. So at least with those skills, we can bring people out of poverty. But without those skills, we are going to drag everyone down. So I believe that investing in education, that is the key to lifting Africa and Nigeria out of poverty. Education, which is skills, digital skills, entrepreneurship skills, and other economical skills that can help them. That's the only way, I think.
Let's play around with this. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In comparison, right? If we look at Africa as a whole, let's just talk about Nigeria in this context. Africa as a whole, can we or should we work towards a universal policy that gauges educational reforms as it affects the entire African nations? Would that work?
I don't think so. It would have been a good idea, but I think every country has different policies according to what's happening in the country. To affect a policy in the country, you have to look at different aspects. You're talking about ethnic groups, religion, what works here, what works there, what works in Ghana might not work in Nigeria. You understand? We can have a universal policy or a target of what we want to achieve as an African country. But saying that same policy will work for this country and work for that country, I don't know how that will play out. But I don't know. But different countries and different policies, but a common goal. That's what I can say.
Well, you put it so well. Different countries, different policies with a common goal. Now let's get into the Sage Nigeria a little bit more, right? So what Sage Nigeria does is get students, or we organize groups in schools that really go into education, right? Like you teach them entrepreneurial skills, okay, to help unearth the next level of entrepreneurs in Africa, right? So looking at this format of delivering education, right? You spoke about getting all of this into the curriculums, right? Even the nearest possible future, this is not in the curriculum, right? What can we do to still maintain the pace, maintain the height and the standard of what we need to achieve as a nation?
If this is not adopted into the curriculum, I must say it's going to be drastic for us, because we have to have more organizations, serious organizations like SAGE, spreading the entrepreneurship word and leaving the legacy. So, and aside that, we need funding, because if you're talking about training, we still need funding, and most of the funding, you can't train a government school from a private pocket. You understand? So the government have to train their students. It's their job. So they need to fund training. So I must say that, yes, we've been partnering with the government to train schools here and there, but they need to be more serious about it. They need to train teachers that we don't have entrepreneur teachers anywhere. We are just doing it like a side hustle. It's not supposed to be a side hustle. It's supposed to be in the curriculum and as a serious entity in the school. So if we keep treating it like a side hustle, we'll go nowhere. So what I'm trying to say is that the government need to put it in the curriculum, teach their teachers, and spend money, fund organizations like SAGE for them to deliver. Because without funding, you can't do anything. There's limited, right now, if we're trying to train 10,000 students in a year, we can train 50 million students in a year if there's money. And you see the outcome. And for the past 15 years, we've been training students. We've seen the outcome. You've seen Anne. You've seen Gift. We have the track record of people doing good. We have the track records of leaders. We have the track record of business leaders. It's on the track. Nigeria has won the State World Cup 8 times in the last 12. We can do this, but all we need is a step forward. We need funding. We can't train government schools from private funding. So governments need to fund their schools. Partners need to come in to drive this great initiative. So that's what I mean. So funding is really, really very important.
We can't train government schools through private funding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's. But let's I'm just concerned, regardless of government school and private school, but these are all people, right? These are all persons.
No, I'm just saying, for example, it's just an example. Sage Nigeria, we're trying to raise funds from people, and the government is just sitting down. Then when we finish raising funds from private organization, will now bring it to the government school and use it to train them. So what is the government doing with their budgets on education?
Wow.
You get what I mean? So they need to get it serious and put it in the budget. Put entrepreneurship education in the budget. Training of teachers. Because in SAGE, it's not just we don't do classroom, it's hands-on. So these kids come up with business ideas. They work on projects. They try and raise funds by themselves, just doing this thing on their own, no funding. You understand me? And at the end of the day, you see these kids, when they go out of school, they are the best in whatever they are doing. We've seen the track record. So
are we losing you? So sad. Today, the internet has not really been in our favor. It's just been up and down. Oh, welcome. Thank you. Oh, not again. So, I mean, talking about infrastructures, these are some of the things we get to suffer. Unfortunately, Chineye's internet is also gone under a tree. She probably have to. Oh, okay, you're back.
Yes, Richard, but I have to go now because I have couples of meetings because the students are arriving tomorrow, so we have a lot to work on. I don't know. And
that's fine. That's okay. Thank you so much for billing your time.
Yes, thank you. We'll continue the discussion. I'll be available immediately after the event to give everybody the rundown of what's happened. And I'm sure everybody is excited to learn the awardees of the year.
Right before you go, there are a couple of people saying things. Let's hear. So Chidima Dede says, "That's my friend Chineye, right on ma." Wow, you have a lot of fans. And then she continues to say, "Please make the SAGE program live." I hope you'll be streaming the SAGE live.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Can you run us through how we can join live and watch?
So we are going to share the link probably from today. We are going to share the competition link where people can view all the competitions going on. And we have close to 12 teams that are bringing their business innovations to the SAGE National. So everybody across the world can join in. We'll send the link. And on the 26th, which is the award dinner, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, will be having a fireside chat. And it's going to be very, very interesting. We have dignitaries coming around from over Nigeria, even from Ghana. We have people coming to the event.
So sad I'm not there.
Don't worry, next year you'll be here. So it's going to be a prestigious event, and we have a lot of people coming from SMEDAN, Universal Basic Education Commission, Lagos State Government, Ogun State Government. The ambassador of South Korea will be here with his wife, and it's just going to be a prestigious event, well attended by huge big dignitaries around the world. Yes. So please, everybody,
prepared for this.
Wow, they are so excited. We have some challenges. We have security challenges and financial challenges. So some schools cannot make it, some teams cannot make it. So, but we hope that next year things will get better. But I'm sure that the 12 teams are coming to Abeokuta. They are all on their way. And they are so excited. They are going to use the train, and we just launched the president just launched the new train station. Just commissioned the new Lagos Abeokuta train station. Really lovely, and I'm recommending everybody coming through Lagos to board the train. Very safe and comfortable. So it's exciting for the kids to board the train. Most of them, this will be their first time of boarding a train in Nigeria. So it's exciting. And coming to Olusegun Obasanjo Library is exciting because they're going to see Baba of Africa, the former president, live, like for the first time, most of them. So it's an exciting moment. And OOPL as Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library is a very, very beautiful place. So much fun. They have the zoo, they have the museum, they have the swimming pool. So it's so much fun. They can't wait to get here. I'm having so much fun already, and I'm sure
I can see from the smiles on your face.
Yes. We are. It's going to be fun.
Before I let you go, let us run us through the the program outline from tomorrow all the way to Saturday, so we know what is happening when, and how we can just join in and follow the conversations.
Okay, so tomorrow the students are arriving. Students and dignitaries are arriving tomorrow, starting from 4, let's say 4 p.m. So that's when the train is arriving Abeokuta. So we're going to pick up. So tomorrow is arrival date, and the welcome reception starts by 7. Then after that, we all go to bed to rest. Then on the 25th is the competition. So the judging briefing starts by 9 a.m. It's going to be aired live, streamed live. So we'll send in the links. So you see all the competition, the competing teams and their projects. And after that, we are going to have the cultural night. So all the teams are going to exhibit, their cultural attires and maybe drama or play or anything on showcase their culture. So the cultural night is a very important event for us because we need to showcase our diversity. We need to see. We want the kids in Enugu to see what it means for a kid in Kano, what it looks like for them. So it's an interesting aspect for us, which is the cultural night. Then after that, on the 26th, we are going to have the awards dinner, which is starting by 1. Let me not say awards dinner, but awards, which is starting on the by 1 p.m. It's going to be streamed live as well. So we are going to have the team's award presentations and also the fireside chat by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo. So I'm asking everyone to tune in and watch us live. And now we are going to make sure that the streaming will make you feel like you're in OOPL with us. That's a promise.
Great. I want to be in OPO with you guys.
Yes, live. You'll be in OPL with us. And tomorrow, Richard, I'm sure we are going to be having a lot of conversations from tomorrow with the students and the teachers, so that people can hear from them, their project, It's going to be interesting. So I ask everybody to join the dialogue series. It's very important to follow up everything happening at the OOPL.
Thank you so much, Naye, for availing yourself. That's all time will allow for now. So I'll let you go, right? Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's the Sage Dialogue series. It's brought to you by Sage Nigerian collaboration with Digital Times Africa and AfroSeed. I would have loved for you to talk about Afro a little bit. Do you have like 1 minute to do that?
Yeah, well, I would like the chairman of AfroSeed to talk about it, but Mr. Agua Mogu, you'll be having a chat with him soon. But AfroSeed is an African entrepreneurship development for Africa. It's just Sage, but in Africa. So it's still entrepreneurship education for Africa. So we are using AfroSeed to intervene on entrepreneurship in the whole Africa. So that's what AfroSeed is doing.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Chineye. Bye-bye. I'll see you.
Thank you, Richard. See you tomorrow.
Have a blessed day, and let's see how the
live tomorrow
will be live. Sure.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, great, guys. That's all time will allow us. We will be leaving you shortly. Yeah. Unfortunately, the internet has been a little bit challenging for us, but we will do well to make sure we bring you live updates from the Sage National Exhibition and award ceremony, which will be happening from tomorrow. Exactly, like Chineye mentioned, people they will be arriving tomorrow. Awards the briefing and the exhibition will be done actually on the 25th, and then 26th we're gonna have a fireside chat. I think yesterday I was trying to say fireside or fire chat side, but I mean I got the name right now. So we're having a fireside chat with His Excellency Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. I like to refer to him as Mr. Olusegun Obasanjo because he's one of quite renowned African leaders, and these are all happening at the OOPL Library in Abeokuta. So do well to join in. This conversation was brought to you by Digital Times Africa in collaboration with Sage Nigeria again and AfroSeed. If you need access or you want to stay in touch with everything happening around Afrocentric technology, innovation, and entrepreneurial insights, please do well to visit www.digitaltimes.africa. And we will continue the Sage Dialogue tomorrow. We have a session coming off this evening, actually, or afternoon, at 2:30 p.m. GMT +1. Do not forsake the gathering of the Sagians. Make sure you join. We'll see you live. Well, we'll have Mark Ann, and we'll be joined by a travel and tour entrepreneur who is the name of Uchenna, and a couple of other people to discuss the next topic, which will be the next wave of entrepreneurs forged through entrepreneurship. The next wave of leaders forged through entrepreneurship. Let me get the topic right. I think that's right. So thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. That's all time will allow us. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.